So good morning, brother Steve Adams, and everybody else who see this video. For some reason, my classmates are not present in the Zoom room, and so I just thought I could use my time to share my portion of it. So, Sister Emily, my classmate Emily, she posted the questions for us to discuss, and here they are. How are you impacted by changing attitudes regarding religious freedom? I am impacted directly and indirectly. In Brazil, it's slightly different from the US, but I am also impacted because I plan to move to Canada, and I see that Canada has some polemical issues about religious freedom as I followed news about it. So, to say my point is, in Brazil, teachers in general, like kindergarten to 12th grade teachers in Brazil, in some cities, they are not supposed to mention any political party, any religion, any ideology of any kind, and basically their freedom of speech is being limited with a new law that is about to be passed by our Brazilian politicians. It has even passed in some states, but the federal Congress, the top guys, they still haven't made it a federal law. But the law says that every school will have no party, every teacher will have no party, and kids who ask teachers questions about politics or religion will have no answer. So the idea is that even teachers will be penalized and will be surveilled about their teaching, and if they do not abide by the new law, they will be penalized, and they might lose their job, they might have a few fines, there will be consequences. So, people say this is a law mostly about politics, but it involves all sorts of ideologies, including religion and same-gender sex and everything else. So, any polemical ideology, teachers are not supposed to comment on or share their sides, which is unfortunate, in my opinion. I watched Brother Elder President Oaks, talk on freedom of speech, and he says that every religion should have the freedom to proclaim their doctrines in the public square, which I understand by proselyting, like the Jehovah's Witnesses do and like we do. I read that in Canada, which is a country I am preparing to move to, in Canada, Catholic priests have been prosecuted because of hate crime, which they consider, I don't understand much about this, but as far as I've read, a priest, when he was in a public debate with journalists and other people, a little similar to our newsroom that recently happened in the new first presidency, this Catholic priest defended a family of male and female couple, and he cited the Bible against transgender and same-sex marriage, and he was prosecuted, and there is a human rights office and group and team of people who are investigating him and a few other people guilty of hate crime. So there's a lot of news, there's a lot of information that I've read referring to how Canada might be like a place where minorities have a chance to be equal to everybody else, but at the same time, for that to happen, everybody else will have their freedom reduced and surveilled. So I can't be conclusive about that, but it's something that impacts me because I plan to move there and I'm not sure how we'll deal. For example, if I teach English over there, I might say something stupid sometimes and I might get prosecuted by that, so I'm not so sure. I need to study further. But second question, do you find that you are ambivalent regarding the roles of your and other religions in society? Why or why not? I understood by other Oak's talk that our religion needs to unite with others and we need to abide on our similarities, not on our differences. Though our differences should also unite us, because we should defend each other's right to preach to the world whatever we believe in common with other religions, and also respect ours and other religions' right to preach whatever they believe in, like Article of Faith says. So I am not ambivalent as I see it. As I see it, we are to preach bravely what is right, and we should not be shy or timid when, though polemical these topics may be. How can we encourage religious freedom at the same time as trying to become unified with others? I would say tolerance. Last week, as I watched a few of the interviews from people from other religions, I specifically liked a Jewish interview from the guy who was so passionate about Jewish religion and his biography, and I noticed how important his religion is for him and how much that helps him be a good person, a good citizen, and contribute in the world. So not at all I want him to have his right diminished by any means. On the other hand, yesterday my wife surprised me getting a tattoo. Well, she said she would get, but a few hours later she already had a small tattoo in her arm. And she wanted me to, how can I say, to support her. You know, she knows where I stand. She knows where the church stands. She's a church member, but she's been less active recently for a few months. And she decided she would get it, and she went and got it. So, at the same time, this issue is very sensitive, and it has caused me a lot of turmoil in the past weeks. I came to terms with it, and I know that if I tolerate my wife's choices, though they will influence my kids and myself and herself and our family and maybe our grandkids, if I be tolerant, we can still grow our family and we still learn from our mistakes. We can still fix it up. I mean, I think tolerance is key for for unity, because everybody's different, everybody has different perspectives and will defend those, and different motivations. And who am I to really say that? I mean, it's a great responsibility, even as a parent, to teach a kid and lead the kid in the way it should walk. That's a responsibility, but it's a obligation. We are not to avoid doing this. But on the other hand, once other adults have their own free will, though they have consequences for their choices, it's hard to impose on others what we believe to be correct. So I believe our example, our defense of the truth is important, but above all, tolerance, because ultimately we cannot change people's choices or people's actions, but we can change ours by being tolerant. So that's how I would encourage unity. Hope it was helpful, and I'm sorry I couldn't meet with you guys live. I would be pleased to hear your comments, and I'll still be online a few more minutes, and I hope I can meet some of you. Bye bye, have a nice weekend.